Hi everyone. I have two list reviews for you today. One is from Todd, who is going to a 1200 point 14 order dice max event. So I'm predicting we'll see something with a lot of faux tank lists, something with a lot of veterans, something with Death Stars as well. And then I have one from Chris Clark, who is going to Northern Lights. So let's get into the lists, shall we? I think I'll start with Todd today. Right, here we go. There we go. 14 order dice, perfect, perfect on the dot, 1200 points. But you can already see I normally bring like 14 order dice in 1000 points. So 1200, that's a lot of extra points. And he's bringing French. So there's a freed order dice in there somewhere, which means that you have a lot of points to spend, don't you? Quite a lot. Single platoon. He calls it the Moroccan parking lot. I love that name. It's a good name. Very, very indicative of what we're going to see, I think, as well. So a regular lieutenant with 2 extra men. I like the setup of a 3-man lieutenant team because that means you're invulnerable to preparatory bombardment. But does he need to be regular? I don't think he does. I mean, what's he really going to bring here extra without regular? It's not going to be massively more survivable, not massively more deadly, and I think you could spend the points on something else. Moroccans, yes, I love these, but 7-man units. Now, 7-man units are good veteran skirmish unit size. Yes, they're good push size. But in a single platoon, that doesn't leave you many bodies, does it? It means that you have 21 veterans as your infantry choices. That is not a lot of bodies. I think personally I would use the points from the lieutenant on buying more Moroccans. Yeah. Ooh, medium anti-tank guns, 2 of those. Someone is expecting to see enemy Death Stars, aren't they? I don't think this is worth it. Howitzer is way better. Way better. Because the howitzer can still hurt enemy tanks. Yes, it can. But if it hits, then it delivers quite a few more pins than an anti-tank gun. So you're not as likely to kill, but you're way more likely to pin whatever you're shooting at. So for me, howitzers all the time, because also they can target other stuff, right? A medium anti-tank gun is useless against infantry. Look, it's got an HE1. Okay, you can shoot 2 guys. Not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Change these out to medium howitzers if you can. Todd, they're just you're going to be dissatisfied, especially with medium anti-tank guns. Look, 75 points for one shot. That is just going to sit there on ambush. The enemy's not going, if you can avoid it, your enemy is not going to drive into an area where you can actually shoot that medium anti-tank gun. Why would you? So your 75 points are going to sit there wasted most of the games. Might as well be in howitzer then. Renault EU Cinelets. I don't actually know these, but they're tracked 7+. They've got 2 MMGs, one of them ball mounted. Yeah, these are miniature Dagger tanks. 10 shots coming out of a 60-point tank. Yeah, I'll take it. Definitely. Dagger tanks, good. You don't actually need them to transport anything. They can take care of themselves. But as extra Dagger tanks, yes. The Laffy, that is also a Dagger tank here. So that's the 3rd miniature Dagger tank 7+. And then a Char 2C. I like the Char 2C, but it is exceedingly expensive. I think you could get away with running a Char 2B, the BIS. Just it's this is very, very, very expensive. I like the howitzer. I like all the MMGs. Of course, it's 10+. It's very survivable. but it's a Death Star. A good enemy will make sure that you're pinned and then just ignore you. And then Barry lays, which makes sense that he's running 7 men in his infantry choices. 4 Barry lays, that means that one of them is for the lieutenant as well. I don't agree with this. The Barry lays are massively helpful if you have engineers, flamethrowers, or SMG armed troops. For your very survivable veterans, are you going to stick 100 extra points inside your Barry lay just to make it survive? That seems like a waste of points. A waste of points for me. I think the Barry lays are great. They're 4 extra miniature darker tanks. That means this list has 7 miniature tanks. All of them are close topped. Some of them, this one has recce. All of them can fire quite a lot of shots. Brilliant. Love it. 7 miniature darker tanks. But, including, and then 1 massive Death Star. But you're very light on infantry. I think you should spend more points on infantry. Down to maybe taking off the anti-tank gun that you're buying completely and just going with a free medium howitzer. I understand that you want more anti-tank capability into your list. I I don't think it's worth it. I think howitzers would be better, would serve you better than just pin the enemy tank. If you run a Death Star like a Yak Panther or something nasty at you, just pin it with your howitzer. Shoot it to pin it. Yeah, that would be my suggestion here. I like the list though. I like the Berelays. I don't agree with. I think most of the time, actually, I would run the Moroccans outside of the Berelays. I would just keep the Berelays a little back because they can't go up to the enemy, right? Um, so keeping the Berelays back, shooting out. The Moroccans can be on foot where they can go down, where they're protected, which they're not inside a Berelay. As soon as that Berelay gets shot up, the Moroccans are going to get casualties as well. So I would keep them outside. No reason to transport these guys at all. But the Berelay in itself is good. So, right. That was Todd's list. 1200 points of French. Now, we're going to Northern Lights and Chris. Chris is bringing 15 order dice, 1000 points. Germans. A second lieutenant regular. I think I would change him out for the Waffen SS one, especially. Yep. Look, he is running Waffen SS, so why not run the lieutenant as well? Way cheaper. And it's a single dude. He's not that much more survivable being regular anyway. I would just keep him as cheap as possible. Save the points. Use them for something else. Fallschirmjägers, I love those. Stubborn, 7-man units, veteran, Panzerfaust, 103 points. Good point set for those. Very, very good push skirmishers, so you can push up into the center of the board. They can survive quite a lot of damage. I love those. Two units. Yeah. Waffen SS as a second wave. They're regulars. A little less survivable because they're regulars, but still they have the Panzerfaust. 6-man units. They can still move up and shoot. Yep. The Osttruppen are not going to do much, I think. I sort of lack 1 unit of engineers here. 1 engineer unit, I think, would do well. I think maybe if I can find the points somewhere else, lieutenant downgrade and stuff, I would change out the Osttruppen for 1 unit of pioneers. Medium mortar, inexperienced, love it. Regular sniper, yep. Panzerschreck. The Panzerschreck is good. 6+ penetration is very, very good, but it's much more expensive than a bazooka. And with all the Panzerfausts, I think you have enough of anti-tank. I think I would change that out. Use the points for an engineer unit, which can double up as a short-range anti-vehicle team. That flamer will kill heavy tanks as well. Nebelwerfer, yes, never leave home without one. Perfect. A truck? For what? What are you going to transport? Tow? Tow for the Nebelwerfer? No, you don't need that. Out with that. Those points can be spent on something better. It's got nothing to do with this truck. There's not one of these units that needs a transport. These are all skirmishes. They can go on foot. They don't need to be transported at all. SDKZ 250/9, love it. Really good. Light autocannon, coaxial MG. Kugelblitz, yes. That is, for me, the most competitive of the Axis medium tanks. Right, that's the Kugelblitz. I've seen it used at top tournaments, and I have been shredded by lists using Kugelblitz. It's very good against veterans. It's very good against light armor. So all the things that I run typically, it will just kill those armies. Two heavy autocannons that will shred all the stewards, all the Gurkhas that it ever needs to kill. Thank you for that one, Uwe, by the way. So yeah, I like the Kugelblitz. It is expensive, 205 points, but if you really want to cut off points and spend them on more engineers, more whatever, then I think you could push this down to a Panzer III, the darker version, of course. But it really depends on what you're going to face, I think. What would be more worth it? Kettenkrad and heavy fuel car, not needed. Out they go. Spend the points on something else. Buy an LMG team. Perfect. That's a very good skirmish team that can back up your other skirmishes. And then just spend the points on engineer unit. Then you have something to transport, by the way, so you can keep the heavy fuel car. But the Kettenkrad, that can go. You have nothing that needs a Kettenkrad at all. Right. That was the lists for today, people. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Cheers.